This week on Granite State Challenge, Bow High School takes on Nashua High School South. Only one team will advance. Granite State Challenge starts now.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you. Get ready. It's time for New Hampshire high schools to match wits in a high-stakes scholastic showdown. It's time for Granite State Challenge. Here's your host, John Cannon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this week on Granite State Challenge. We are making our way through the first round of our 40th season, and we've got a really fun 40th season question coming up later in the show. We've also kept in place some of the safety protocols that we had last season, including our 3 strikes and you're out round with a new twist, which I'll get to when we get to round 3. But most importantly, we've got 2 teams here ready to do battle to see who's going to advance to the next round. Let's introduce them to you. First up, we have the team from Bow High School. They are led by junior captain Alessandra. Alessandra is joined by seniors Madeline and senior Kate and senior Adam. The team has a whole bunch of alternates: seniors Rory, Honor, and Rose, juniors Becky, Emily, and Nick, and freshmen Thomas and Liam. And the team is coached by Michelle Lavaz. And facing off against them this week is the team from Nashua High School South. The team is led by senior captain Shri. Shri is joined by senior Karito, senior Keshav, and sophomore Curtis. The alternates are senior Rishi and 10th grader Ditya, and the team is coached by Lex Duvall. All right, those are the teams, but we do have one more introduction, and that is, of course, our judge, Ann Belanger. All right, teams, introductions are done and out of the way. Go ahead and grab those signaling devices because we're going to play Granite State Challenge. And as you know, we play in 4 rounds, and in round 1, we have 10-point toss-up questions. So, Bow, Nashua South, good luck, and here we go. You'll find Genghis Khan Square in the center of Ulaanbaatar, the capital of this country. Adam of Bow.
Mongolia.
Correct. Although this round, white nut is associated with Hawaii, it is native to Australia. Adam of Bow.
Macadamia nut.
That's the right one. This Mexican folk song about a cockroach who can't walk dates back to the Mexican Revolution in the 1910s. Keshav of Nashua South.
La cucaracha.
That is it. An arrow shot by Paris into the heel of his foot killed this hero of the Trojan War. Madeline of Bow.
Achilles.
Yes. This volcanic rock, which is so light that it can float in water, is also used to remove dead skin. Madeline of Bow.
Pumice.
Yes. Scooby-Doo was first introduced in a 1969 Hanna-Barbera cartoon. What breed of dog is Scooby-Doo? Madeline of Bow.
Great Dane.
That's correct. Christopher Columbus founded the first European settlement, La Navidad, in what is now this country in 1492. The settlement was destroyed by the indigenous Taino people the next year. Adam of Bow.
The Dominican Republic.
Sorry, no. Nashua South. Curtis?
West Indies.
Sorry, it was Haiti, so close. English author Edward Bulwer Lytton, in his 1839 play Richelieu, or The Conspiracy, wrote, "True, this beneath the rule of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the what?" Shri of Nashua South.
The sword.
Yes, sir. This small flightless bird is related to ostriches and emus and shares its name with a fruit native to China. Curtis of Nashua South.
Cassowary.
Sorry, no. Bo? Alessandra?
Kiwi.
Sorry, Alessandra. Kiwi is right. In a 1988 revival of this play by Samuel Beckett at the Lincoln Center, Robin Williams played Estragon and Steve Martin played Vladimir. We were looking for Waiting for Godot. Earth has one moon. Mars has two moons. What two planets have no moons? Shri of Nashua South.
Mercury and Venus.
Correct. This number has been permanently retired for all Major League Baseball teams to honor Jackie Robinson. Adam of Bow.
42.
That's it. Octopi have 8 arms, 2 eyes, and this many hearts. Madeline of Bow.
3.
They do have 3 hearts. The Kingdom of Denmark is made up of 3 countries: Denmark, the Faroe Islands, and this very large island country. Curtis of Nashua South.
Greenland.
Greenland is right. This 3-headed dog in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was really scary but fell asleep when soothing music was played. Curtis of Nashua South.
Fluffy.
Fluffy is right. This could be a sport or a small chirping insect. Madeline of Bow.
Cricket.
That's right. All right, teams, you have pencil and paper there in case you need it. Convert 35% to a fraction. Adam of Bow.
7 out of 20.
Correct. The phalanges are the bones of your fingers and your toes. How many phalanges will you find in your pinky finger? Adam of Bow.
3.
You'll find 3. That's right. This U-shaped bone located in the neck is the only bone in the human body not connected to a nearby bone. Shri of Nashua South.
Clavicle.
Sorry, no. Adam of Bow.
The mandible?
No, it is the hyoid bone. All right, teams, what 5 countries are permanent members of the UN Security Council? Adam of Bow.
The United States, England, Germany, France, and Spain?
Sorry, no. Nashua South. Shri.
United States, United Kingdom, Soviet, well, Russia, France, and Italy.
Sorry, very close. You had the first 4 right. The last is China. This theater in London, built in 1599 by the Lord Chamberlain's Men's Theatre Company, burned down in 1613, was rebuilt in 1614, and closed down in 1642 by an order of the Long Parliament. Shri of Nashua South.
Globe Theater.
Correct. All right, teams, the next question is a picture question, so go ahead and take a look at the monitors in front of you. This member of the Mustelidae family is usually found in grasslands, where it uses its short, powerful legs to dig for prey like mice, ground squirrels, and moles. Kate of Bow.
Badger.
Yes. This could be a Winter Olympic sport or what you might be doing to your hair when you use hot rollers. Alessandra of Bow.
Curling.
Yes. In Western music, how many notes are there on a scale? Keshav of Nashua
7.
South.
7.
Yes. In the Marines hymn, Marines pledge to fight our country's battles from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. In what countries will you find the halls of Montezuma and the shores of Tripoli? Curtis of Nashua South.
Mexico.
I need 2 countries.
Mexico and Cuba.
Sorry, no. Bo. Adam?
Mexico and Italy?
No, it is Mexico and Libya. This could be the front face of a building or an emotional front an individual might project to cover up their real feelings. Keshav of Nashua South.
A facade.
Yes. In 2020, Reader's Digest posted a list of the most misspelled words for every state. New Hampshire had problems with subtle. Spell subtle. Madeline of Bow.
Subtle.
That is correct. In 1952, Albert Einstein was offered the presidency of this country. He turned it down, saying he was deeply moved, but saddened and ashamed that he could not accept it. Shri of Nashua South.
Austria.
Sorry, no. Madeline of Bow.
Germany.
Nope, it is Israel. Teams, what is hydrogen oxide or dihydrogen oxide, more commonly known as? Adam of Bow.
Water.
That's it. This French city is famous for a mustard created by Jean Naigeon in 1856. Adam of Bow.
Dijon.
That's correct. That sound ends round one, and after round one, it looks like Bo out to a lead by a score of 160 to 80. All right. Well done, Bo. Good job, Nashua South. Good job in round one. We're going to roll right on into round two. In round two, we'll continue with the toss-up questions. We're going to double the point value. So these are 20-point toss-up questions. Bo, Nashua South, here we go. This term, which has become a metaphor for an intricate problem, is taken from an intricate knot that Alexander the Great, according to one story, untangled by just slicing it with his sword. Sorry, Adam, not quite in time. It is the Gordian knot. The current and 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, currently lives as a refugee in this country. Shri of Nashua South?
Tibet.
Sorry, no. As a refugee, he's living in India. All right, teams, we have reached our Unitil power question, so go ahead and take a look at your monitors for the question coming at you.
This animated series features Buttercup, Bubbles, Blossom, Professor Utonium, and Mojo Jojo.
Curtis of Nashua South.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, and that is a double point question, so 40 points right there. This singer's first album, Baby One More Time, was released in 1999. Shri of Nashua South.
Britney Spears.
Yes. You might be familiar with the opera aria Make Way for the Factotum, which repeats the name Figaro. It is from this opera by Rossini about Figaro, an Italian hairstylist. That opera is The Barber of Seville. On December 14th, 1774, John Langdon led a group of Portsmouth patriots on a raid of Fort William and Mary in Newcastle. Fort William and Mary is now known by this much more American name and is a state park and historic site. Adam of Bow?
Odeon Point.
Sorry, no. You're near it. It's Fort Constitution. All right, teams, what part of the eye narrows in bright light? Shri of Nashua South?
People.
Yes. Most of you are familiar with the Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific time zones that cover the continental United States. In what time zone is Nevada? Adam of Bow?
Pacific.
Correct. These loud insects may spend most of their lives underground as nymphs, emerging every 13 to 17 years to mate. Shri of Nashua South.
Cicadas.
Yes. Lake Winnipesaukee at 44,586 acres is New Hampshire's largest lake. The second largest lake in the state is 7,850 acres, and it lies in both Coos County, New Hampshire, and Oxford County, Maine. Kate of Bow?
Winnisquam.
Sorry, no. Shri of Nashua South?
Sunapee.
No, it is Lake Umbagog, far to the north. All right, teams, we have reached the 40th question of our match, and this is our 40th season question worth 40 points, and it's taken from season 32. The diary of this Englishman, kept from 1660 until 1669, provides a detailed account of some of the major events of the English Restoration, including the Great Fire of London and the Great Plague of London. Adam of Bow.
Christopher Wren.
Sorry, no. Shri of Nashua
Oliver
South?
Cromwell.
Nope, it is Samuel Pepys. All right, teams, this singer had a hit in 2021 with a song about getting a driver's license, driving through the suburbs, and lamenting a lost love. Curtis of Nashua South.
Olivia Rodrigo.
That's correct. You will find this 15th century Incan citadel on a mountain ridge in southern Peru. It was named a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1983. Shri of Nashua South.
Machu Picchu.
That's correct. This term for someone who gives too much attention to unimportant errors is taken from the task of combing through someone's hair to remove lice or lice eggs. Karitu.
Nitpicker.
Correct. Calliope Terpsichore, Thalia, and Erato were all one of these 9 inspirational goddesses in Greek mythology? Curtis of Nashua South.
The Muses.
That's correct. Teams this city, which straddles the Bosporus Strait, placing it in both Europe and Asia, was once known as Constantinople. Keshav of Nashua South.
Istanbul.
Correct. All right, that sound ends round 2, and it looks like Nashua South now in the lead by a score of 260 to 180. All right, team, so that ends round 2. We're going to go into round 3, which is our 3 strikes and you're out round. In this round, each team gets 10 questions based on a category. We'll give them 10 points for each correct response and a bonus of 10 for all of them correct. And we will go down the line, player by player, until 3 strikes and you're out. Each team also has 3 passes. So if you don't know the answer, you can pass it to your teammate next to you. Make sense? All right, Bo, as the team trailing, you get to select first, and Alessandra, as the team captain, you get to choose from these categories: Book It, Top Hats, and Around the World.
Around the world.
Around the world it is. All right. The answers to the following will all be countries that are also homonyms. All right. Alessandra, Asian country or fancy dishes?
Russia.
We're looking for China. Madeline, part of Great Britain or large sea mammals?
Wales.
Correct. Kate, Eurasian country or large bird?
Turkey.
Correct. Adam, South American country or meaty stew?
Chile.
Correct. Alessandra, African country or small hanging piece of paper on a punch card?
Morocco.
We were looking for Chad. Madeline, island country in the Mediterranean or a coniferous tree?
Cyprus.
Correct. Kate, country in the Aegean Sea or what you cook French fries in? Sorry, country on the Aegean Sea and what you cook French fries in?
Fryer.
Sorry, it is Greece. That is your 3 strikes and you're out, and 4 correct. All right. Nashua South, we turn to you, and Shri, you get to make the choice between Book It and Top Hats.
Book It.
Book It. All right. The answers to the following will all include the word book. Okay? Shri, Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO of this social media platform.
Facebook.
Correct. Carito, this 1967 Disney movie is based on an 1894 novel of the same name by Rudyard Kipling.
The Jungle Book.
Correct. Keshav, this U.S. senator from New Jersey was once the mayor of Newark.
Booker.
Cory Booker is correct. Curtis, you will find pictures of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors in this annual publication.
Yearbook.
Correct. Shri, this is another term for a purse or a handbag.
Pass.
Carito, same question.
Matchbook.
Say it again.
Matchbook.
Sorry, it's a pocketbook. Keshav, this travel guide, which helped black travelers find accommodations and restaurants and other businesses that would serve them, was published from 1936 to 1966.
Black Book.
Sorry, it is the Green Book. Curtis, Lee Harvey Oswald shot President Kennedy from this location in Dallas?
Pass.
Pass. Shri?
Pass.
Right, that is your last pass. Carito, same question.
Booker Square.
Sorry, is the Texas School Book Depository. And after their round, 4 as well. So the scores stay about the same in terms of the distance between the two teams, which means we have a tight match going into round 4, where we continue with 20-point toss-up questions. However, we will be deducting 20 points for incorrect responses. So play smart and strategic. Bo, Nashua South, here we go. Who said the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision? It's Helen Keller. Sediment samples taken by the Mars rover Curiosity contain isotopes of this element, which is the foundation for life on Earth. Shri of Nashua South.
Carbon.
That is correct. Teams, what is the least common multiple of 8, 12, and 24? Shri of Nashua South.
24.
That's it. This live action series begins 5 years after the events in Return of the Jedi and tells the story of Din Djarin, a bounty hunter on the run. Curtis of Nashua South.
Mandalorian.
That's it. There are 3 countries enclaved within the boundaries of another country: Vatican City and San Marino in Italy, and this country located within South Africa. Keshav of Nashua South.
Lesotho.
That's correct. This character, who married his cousin Celeste, was first introduced in a 1931 children's book by French author Jean de Brunhoff. It is Babar the elephant. This group of amphibians with dry skin and warts are taxonomically frogs, and according to a children's book by Arnold Lobel, friends with frogs, but are traditionally called by this name. Shri of Nashua South.
Toads.
Toads is right. This blue, spiny, superfast mammal is the protagonist in a series of video games from Sega. The first game was released in 1991. Shri of Nashua South.
Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog is right. The Schutzstaffel, a paramilitary group in Nazi Germany led by Heinrich Himmler and largely responsible for carrying out the crimes of the Holocaust, is perhaps better known by this 2-letter name. Curtis of Nashua South.
The SS.
The SS, yes. Marlon Brando played First Lieutenant Fletcher Christian, who seized control from Captain Bligh in a 1962 movie portrayal of a real mutiny on this British ship. It was the Mutiny on the Bounty. Will Eisner's 1978 work, A Contract with God and Other Tenement Stories, is an early example of this type of novel in comic strip form. Curtis of Nashua South.
Graphic novel.
Graphic novel's right. This group of 11 long, narrow lakes takes its name from handy body parts. Adam of Bo.
Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes. This musical group, made up of brothers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Michael, and Marlon, had hits with the songs I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There. Shri of Nashua South.
Jackson 5.
Yes. This war, which began in June of 1950 and ended in July of 1953, was the setting for the TV series MASH, which ran for 11 seasons. Keshav of Nashua South.
Korean War.
Yes. Who wrote the line, "Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown," in his play, King Henry IV, Part 2? Shri of Nashua South.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare's right. The 230-foot-long Bayeux Tapestry depicts the events leading up to the Norman conquest of England, which culminated in this battle on October 16th, 1066.
Battle of Hastings.
Carito of Nashua South.
The Battle of Hastings.
You got it. This fabric dyeing technique using wax originated in Indonesia. It is called batik. This portrait by Leonardo da Vinci of Lisa del Gioconda was commissioned by her husband. Keshav of Nashua South.
Mona Lisa.
That's the one. This great-granddaughter of Henry VII claimed the throne of England and Ireland from July 10th until July 19th, 1553, and is sometimes referred to as the 9-Day Queen. Sorry, Adam, not quite in time. It was Lady Jane Grey. In painting and sculpture, what two characters are depicted in a Pietà? Adam of Bow.
What is Bono?
Sorry, nope. Nashua South. We are looking for Jesus and Mary. And there are 200 and, well, there are a bunch of questions we're not going to get to because that sound ends the game. And with a strong fourth round, Nashua South will be moving on to the next round of Granite State Challenge. All right, congratulations, Nashua South. We'll see you in a few weeks for your next round match. And Bo, thank you so much for coming. We hope you had fun. And we hope you had fun at home as well. We do hope you join us next week when the teams from Fall Mountain Regional High School and Littleton do battle. That'll do it for us this week on Granite State Challenge. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a lot, because I did as well. We'll see you next week.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you.